Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1547. Oh, better cross that one off. Plan a vacation in 2 steps. Yes, 2 steps. You're going, 2 steps? There's a lot more involved yeah, it's 2 steps. And apologies for being on late tonight. We got to meet our new neighbors that moved in on Sunday. So, I had to quickly meet them. As we left for a walk, they were outside. So we got to do a quick hello. How are you? This is who I am. I live here. You live there. Welcome to the neighborhood. Always fun welcoming new people to the neighborhood. Always sad when you see people that you know and have known for a while leave. Okay, so what have we got on? Okay, planning a vacation in 2 steps. We have 2 steps. Step 1. Okay, first of all, it can be a daunting task. Planning vacation is a daunting task, but it doesn't need to be. Okay, you can be totally adventurous and take out a map and throw a dart at it and go wherever the dart lands. And yes, I do know people who pick their annual vacations this way. They've got a group of friends that travel together every year, and they have a barbecue at somebody's place. They put the map up on the fence. They blindfold, spun around, and it's almost like pin the tail on the donkey, except for they have to throw a dart. So step 1 is you're now going to answer 10 questions. Yes, 10. Like I said, 2 steps. Step 1, answer 10 questions. And this will help narrow things down a little bit. So question number 1 is, how much time do you want to spend traveling from where you live to where you vacation? Do you want your travel days to be included or excluded from your vacation days? So if, for example, you're taking a 7-day vacation, do you want to spend the whole 7 days on vacation plus travel time? Or do you want the 7 days to include your travel time, which cuts down on the number of days spent on vacation? And this is really important, especially if you're looking at international travel. For example, we always recommend that, you tell the travel agent, we want to be wherever we're going for X number of days, and we want and travel either side of that. So here's a good example. Here's an example on how this works, especially if you're traveling international, because international flights are long. If you're going down to like Australia, New Zealand, or across to Japan, you got to remember you're going to be crossing the international date line. So when you fly from the US, from the US to Australia, New Zealand, or Japan, you lose a day. So if you leave on a Friday, you'll arrive on Sunday. Amazing. I have a website called skipyourbirthday.com, and we talk about that exclusively because there are some people out there who do not like celebrating their birthdays. So I'm sort of like, okay, we'll skip your birthday then. So if you go to skipyourbirthday.com, you'll find all the information there, and we can help you plan to escape. But then we tell them, make sure you don't turn your phone on while you're down there, turn the roaming off, everything else, give them all the precautions so they're not opening up their phone or anything and getting bombarded with text messages wishing them happy birthday, because it will still be their birthday back in the States. They're just in a country where the birthday's already over and done with. Little segue there. Anyway, so yeah, that's how you can skip your birthday. But you've got to remember that, if you want to spend 14 days in New Zealand, do you want to spend 14 days on the ground, or do you want to be gone for 2 weeks in total? 14 days gone for 2 weeks. And then you have to take into account that if you leave on a Saturday, you're going to arrive on Monday. Then you'll have Monday through to the following, the 2 weeks driving around and all of that. And then you get back on a plane. But the cool part is that when you get on a plane from New Zealand and you come back to the States, you arrive back in the States before you leave New Zealand. So that way, for those that like to celebrate birthdays, if you want to extend your birthday, here's what you do. You fly down to New Zealand, go do the tour. You go to Auckland you're in Auckland on your birthday. You go out, you celebrate for lunch or something. You then go to the airport that evening. You get on the plane. You fly to LA or San Francisco, or maybe even Houston. Will work with Houston as well. You fly to one of those destinations. You get off the plane. It's still your birthday. So now you go celebrate with your American family and friends. And now you've celebrated your birthday in 4 hemispheres, 2 countries in 1 day. So you want help with that one? Let me know. So that's one way that you can celebrate your birthday. If you love celebrating your birthday, it's a way to extend the day. I kept trying to get Brad to do this on my milestone birthdays, and he was like, no. I'm like, why not? He goes, it's too tiring. And he said that on my 45th. I said, right, for my 50th, we're going to do that. And unfortunately, by the time we got to my 50th birthday, he was no longer cleared for traveling. So the 50th birthday trip to New Zealand got cancelled. Yes. So I got to get that back on the plans again for my 60th. So, where do you want to go? And so you have to, so how much time do you want to spend on the ground in your destination? When we flew back from Europe, we were in Budapest, and we flew from Budapest to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Boston, Boston to LA. It was a very long, we spent, I think it was like 32 hours traveling by the time you take them from the time that we left Budapest to the time we got in LA, the flights, the layovers, and everything else. It was like 32 hours of traveling. We had enough time, put it this way, we had enough time in Boston between connecting flights to actually leave the airport. We rechecked our bags to LA, and our carry-on luggage, we had a change of clothing and a few toiletries. We had enough time to leave the airport, go to a hotel, get a room, because they had the airport hotel right there. They had an airport hotel that was close by. Go to the airport, grab a shower, have a sleep, because we've been traveling for a bit, and we still had a 5 or 6 hour flight to go. And we had like a 7 or 8 hour layover in Boston. And so we were able to go to a hotel, grab a shower, grab some sleep, get some food, get back to the airport, get onto our domestic flight, and get on our domestic flight to fly home. So yeah, that's how much time we had. So sometimes you get very long layovers. So you got to think about these things. So like I said, going from Budapest to LA, it was 36 hours of travel time. That cuts into your vacation time. So you got to allow for that sort of thing. Well, how long are our flights going to be? How long is it going to take us? What are our layovers? What's the total travel time, with all of that taken into account? And then you can work backwards from there, or work forwards depending which way you're going. Because then if you're going to Europe, you've got a 10-hour flight. If you're going from the West Coast to say London, you've got a 10-hour flight. If you're going into Europe, into the continent, you've got about a 10-hour flight. When we went to Europe, we did our flight went from LA to Denver to Frankfurt. It was like, I don't even remember how many hours we spent traveling. And then when we got to Frankfurt, we then had a layover there to go on to Prague, which is where our vacation was actually starting. So we had to say, right, well, this is our cruise that we're doing. Here's the cruise. We want to come in and do the land package beforehand. So we need to fly in on this date. So we had to work out the flights to get us there in time to get to be met at the airport, to get to the hotel, to have our all-day tour the next day in Prague, and then get on the river cruise the next day. So we had to figure all of that out. What time do we have to leave? When do we have to leave LA to get there? And then once we were there, that was fine. But then the flight home again, 36 hours of travel time. So we had to take that into account. So when you're talking about, I only want to do a 2-week vacation, does that include your travel time or not? And how much travel time is going to be involved on either end, so that you can calculate how much time you're actually going to be staying wherever it is you're going. Even if you're doing road trips, how much driving time is it going to take you? How many hours do you want to drive each day? That's a big thing. There was one time, I don't know what the heck Brad and I were thinking one time. We drove from Northern Virginia down to Orlando in Florida. It was a 13-hour drive. We did it in one day, sharing the driving. And we both by the time we got to Orlando, we looked at each other and said, we are never doing that again. After that, we broke it up into 2 days to travel. So you got to take these sorts of things into account, because they can be long days, especially if you get snarled up in traffic. And there happen to be a lot of roadworks along the I-95 when we were traveling that. And there's a lot of traffic snarl ups, and it was just a very, very long day. So you need to take that into account. How much time do I want to spend traveling? How much time do I want to spend at the destination? And then work out how long you want to be gone for. That's question 1. We only got to question 10 minutes on question 1. Number 2, do you want to drive or fly? And that will help you narrow down options when you pair it with question 1. Do you want to drive or fly, or take the bus or take the train? That's all comes into account as well. Number 3, who is traveling with you? Is it just you plus one, you and family, or you and the extended family? This will help you determine the type of place you want to go. If it's extended family, there's a possibility of group rates, dining, excursions, and added amenities for your group that can be taken into consideration, especially if you're going to be on a cruise ship. and you've got more than 8 cabins at double occupancy, then you can definitely look at getting group rates and seeing if they're available and things like that. Number 4, what do you want to see and do when you're on vacation? Because this will help narrow down locations. So if you want to ski, then sending you to Bora Bora to Lahaina Beach would not work. But here's the cool thing. Trust me, I have seen a lot. Oh, I want to go to Bora Bora and ski. Yeah, they don't have mountains to ski on. They wanted to go. One couple wanted to go on a honeymoon to Bora Bora so they could get the overwater bungalow, but they also wanted to go skiing. We said, like, it's 2 separate destinations. We can't ski in Bora Bora? No. You trust me, and as a travel professional, you get to hear a lot of very interesting outlooks on travel and geography. Very different outlooks. So if you want to go skiing, then you've got to look at what time of year are you going to go. Now, here's the cool thing. If you are somebody who absolutely loves to ski, like you want to go skiing every vacation, but you go, and in the winter months here in the US, you're skiing, during the holiday seasons and all of that, and you're sort of like, wait till summer vacation, hop on a plane, go down to New Zealand and Australia. They got some amazing ski fields down there. I've never been to the ones in Australia, but I do know they do have ski fields down there. But the ones in New Zealand are amazing. They have, and people go, you go skiing? Yes, we actually have world championships that are held in New Zealand for skiing. You get a lot of skiing professionals that go down there during the off season to stay in shape and practice, and just to stay in shape on the slopes and everything else. So yes, you can go skiing in New Zealand. So on your summer vacation, you can go to New Zealand and ski, because opposite seasons. So when it's summer here, it's winter in New Zealand. When it's winter here, like for Christmas, we're at the beach having a barbecue on Christmas Day. It's as simple as that. It's cold. Some people like to have the traditional English Christmas dinner, which includes, the roast and the whole heavy, hot food and all of that. Yeah, you're in the middle of summer. No. My favorite Christmas dinner to have, I've got to make sure there's Christmas pudding, though. I like Christmas pudding. It's a steamed cake thing. And you pour custard over top of it. But, the main Christmas meal could be cold meat and salads, or it could be chops that have been grilled on the barbecue, or sausages that have been grilled on the barbecue. And then you come in and you've got all the salads and everything to go with it. So yeah, very, very different. If you've never experienced Christmas in the summertime, go down to New Zealand and Australia. You'll be doing barbecues for Christmas dinner, and it's all good. It's all good. Number 5, what are some things you liked or disliked about past vacations? This is important to know. Make a list of the past vacations you've been on. Have you been on a cruise line before? Have you been on multiple cruise lines? Which are your favorites? Why are they your favorites? What amenities did they have on board that you liked? What did they do that you didn't like? Because cruise ships are like hotels. They all have personalities, or their target market, which they cater to certain target markets, age group. It could be age groups, it could be families, it could be couples, that sort of thing. So you need to look at that. If you were you're just a couple that are traveling, what sort of things did you like? Did you go on a Royal Caribbean ship, which is very family orientated? Yes, they have stuff for couples, but it's very family orientated, lots of activities and things on there. Did you like it? Oh, well, there was too many kids on it. Okay, so maybe we'll look at a different cruise line that caters more towards adults. And so things like that. So you have to take that into account. If you went to an all-inclusive resort, what did you like about it? What did you not like about it? These are things that you need to know to help you when you come choosing your next location, help choosing your next vacation. So that was number 5. Number 6, what type of accommodation do you like to stay in? If you are a 5-star luxury, then booking you into a 3-star resort or hotel is not going to work. If you want centrally located, then out in the suburbs isn't going to work either. I had one couple going on a honeymoon one time, and we had the whole package there together, and all the hotels were in they said what they want to do in each stop destination and stuff. So we made sure that the hotels were exactly the type of hotels that they liked, and exactly in the area that they needed to be. So they didn't need to go driving. They could just walk to the things they wanted to see and do. And they come in and they say, oh, well, no, we don't want to stay in that hotel. We had a look online. We want to stay in this one. I go, no, you don't. And they happened to be in Wellington, and we had them in this perfect hotel because they love cafes and that. So we had them in a hotel that was within walking distance of about a dozen or more cafes and restaurants and all of that sort of stuff. And very close to all the museums and things and art galleries that they wanted to see. And they're like, why not? And I said, well, that particular hotel that you've chosen is down near the railway station. It is in the central business district. It is right near Parliament. So it gets a lot of government employees in there. And for what you want to do and where you want to go, you're going to have to either walk about 30 minutes to get to the area that you want to be in, or take the bus up there, or drive and attempt to find parking. And they're like, oh, I said, the hotel that we have you in, you park there, you can walk everywhere you need to go. You're in walking distance of all the museums that you wanted to go see. You're in walking distance of a lot of different cafes and restaurants. They were big foodies. And so they sort of went, oh, okay, we'll stay there. And then when we came to a different town, they were like, oh, we don't want to stay at that hotel. We want to stay at this one. I go, I said, that one's out in the middle of the suburbs. You wanted to be in the central business district area of that particular location where we've got you. You've got a view of the lake that's there. Your room overlooks the lake, and you're within a 5-minute walk to the actual central shopping center. And I think it was like a 3-minute walk to the, what do they call it in New Zealand? iVisitors. And that's where the iVisitor is like a central location where you go and you can book tickets for different excursions, that sort of stuff. All the buses come there, will pick you up from there, drop you back there, you walk to your hotel, that sort of stuff. And they're like, oh, okay. So they learned very quickly that the hotels we had them were within walking distance of what they needed to see and do. So you need to know these sorts of things. Number 7, do you want a land, sea, or river vacation? Because this will help. This can determine when you can go. Like Alaska Cruises has a small window from May through September. Skiing in New Zealand is best June through August. If you want to go to Hawaii, any time of the year is good. But remember, when the kids are out of school, the prices tend to be higher. Let's see. So think about things like that. Land, sea, or air. Land, sea, or river. River vacations are awesome. And so, I get motion sickness. I will say this. On a river cruise, you barely feel the boat moving. You know that you're moving because you'll be sitting there and you're floating along and the scenery is just gentle, and it's a very gentle. I've never been on a river where I've never felt the river, never felt anything wrong on the river cruise. It was very nice and tranquil and peaceful. And then do you want to travel domestically or internationally? If you're going internationally, you'll need passports, maybe visas, and maybe vaccines, depending on where you're going. Vaccinations, depending on where you're going. The CDC website has that has a list there that if you put in what country you're traveling to, it tells you whether or not vaccinations are required. The travel.state.gov has really good information there on if you need passports to get into a country. And they also have there as well what countries to be cautious of when you're traveling and what countries are safer to travel. And they actually code them green, yellow, and red. Red is like, don't go there. Just do not go there. Yellow is sort of like, you can go there, but just be very aware of your surroundings. And green, it's sort of like, it's okay, but just stay safe. It's good for travel, but stay safe as normal. So you need to think of things like that too. And ensure that if you do have a passport, ensure that you have at least 6 months valid on your passport from the date of return of your vacation. The country you want to visit determines the length of validation you will need on your passport. Some countries, and there's very few of them, only require 3 months, but most, including cruise lines, require 6 months from the date of return. So that's very important to know. So check your passport. If you're looking at going, and check your passports early. If you need to renew them, get the renewals in early. I haven't checked lately to see what the latest. I think it's still 6 to 9 weeks to get your passports back, and that's the non-rushed thing. So you need to make sure of that as well. And I will give you a heads up in 2026. There's going to be an awful lot of passport renewals. Was it 2006? Yeah, 2006. There was what was it that happened there was something that happened in 2006 that there was a huge rush for people to get passports. Like it was inundated. And then, because I somehow ended up getting mine in 2006. And then in 2016, when it came for renewal, I knew it was coming up. I got it in early to avoid the rush. And it's going to be the same in 2026 as well. You're going to have another rush then as well. Number 9, what's on your travel bucket list of places you want to go and things to see and do? This can help you get some items crossed off. So do that. And number 10 is, what is your budget? And please be realistic. Look at the time of year you're traveling. Good rule of thumb for peak seasons: if the kids are out of school, prices like airfares, cruises, hotels, everything will be higher than when they're in school. Also look at the weather for where you're going to. So remember, like I said, the Southern Hemisphere, so you've got Australia, New Zealand, South America, South Africa, where they've got places that are in the Southern Hemisphere. They are opposite seasons. So when it's summer here, it's winter there. When it's winter there, winter here, it's summer down there. And summer, wherever you go, is peak tourist season. So if you're going down to New Zealand for Christmas, and that's the problem that I have having a December birthday. My mum was also born in December. My dad's January, and I've got a brother in January as well. The problem that the 4 of us have is that we're at like the busiest time of the year for not only tourists, but school vacation, because school gets out just like a few days before Christmas, and the kids go back to school at the end of January. So we have year-round school in New Zealand. So you have to take that in mind. If you're going to go down to New Zealand for Christmas and stuff, you've got to book well in advance to get the choice picks on hotels, locations, rental cars, and all of that, because it is a very busy time down there in New Zealand, and Australia as well. Same thing for them as well. Very, very busy time. Prices are higher because it's peak travel season, peak tourist season, and the kids are out of school. So you got a double whammy on that one. Yes, if you're into winter sports like snowboarding and stuff, take a summer vacation. Take your summer vacation here in the States down to New Zealand, Australia, and go skiing and snowboarding and other winter sports that you enjoy. So those are the 10 questions. Remember, this is step 1. So you got 10 questions. How much time do you want to spend traveling? Do you want to drive or fly or train or bus? Do you want, who is traveling with you? Somebody's having a good dream. What do you want to see and do while you're on vacation? What are some things you'd like or disliked about past vacations? What type of accommodation do you like to stay in? Do you want land, sea, or river vacations? Do you want to travel domestically or internationally? What is on your travel bucket list of places to go and things to see and do? And what is your budget? You can go and price things online just to give yourself an idea of what things will be like. But step number 2 is going to help you in credit. So when you've answered those 10 questions, you have completed step number 1. Step number 2 is call your travel professional or call a travel professional, because they can help you with the help of the answers above. They can help you sort through very quickly through options available and find the right cruise that will fit your wants, needs, budget, and personality. The personality is important, because if you've got people who don't like the nightlife, they want quiet, putting them in a hotel that's near a nightclub or putting them on a ship that's a party ship that has lots of parties in the evenings and things, is not going to work for them. They're going to want the more quieter cruises. They're going to want to stay in the quieter hotels. So this is something that you need to take into account as well. And if you're into the nightlife scene, then you want to be near those places. If you're looking for a nice, quiet, romantic vacation, do you want a family-friendly, all-inclusive resort or an adult-only one? So these are things that your travel professional can help you work through, and they can help you find the right vacation that is going to fit your wants, needs, budget, and personalities. So step 1, answer those 10 questions. Step 2, call your travel professional with the answer, because those 10 questions are what we as travel professionals will take you through. Those are the 10 basic questions that we will take you through to qualify, what we call qualifying. It means we're getting to know you. We're getting to know the types of things you like and dislike. And so these questions will help us narrow it down for you to find the best. And then we go out and we find the best deal for you. I had one couple one time who had me plan this vacation to New Zealand. I sent them over the quote that had everything included that they wanted included, and then they called and I followed up 24 hours later, and they says, "Oh, our wife's gone and booked us all online, and it was cheaper than booking through you." I went, "Oh, really?" And it turned out costing them more. Costing them $5,000 per person more than the quote I'd given him, because what they don't realize is that when we give you the package deal, we include things that are not included if you book it yourself. So there was a lot of extra stuff that they wanted that we had included that they ended up having to pay extra for. But had they gone with us, they wouldn't have had the huge outlay of expenses that they had down there. Plus, too, they also had the international exchange rate and the extra charges on their cards because of the international rates. Up here, if you book through us, we've got a company that I work with, and I say, here's their itinerary. They go and price it for us. We pay them. It's paid in US dollars. So when you get down there, the only extra expenses that you have will be things like lunches and dinners. Everything else, like your rental car, your hotels, your breakfasts, some of your excursions that you wanted to do, are all, and the airfares are all included in one price. And if you try and do it by yourself, there's a lot of deals that we got that you're not going to get. And we just give you one price and it covers all of this lot. So when you get down there, the only expenses you'll have to be will be shopping, will be meals like lunch and dinner, and then any other excursions that you want to do that we haven't already included. Like if you come across something, oh, let's go in here and have a look, and there's an admittance fee, then you've got that sort of stuff as well. So we take care of a bulk of what it is you want to do. So you have to spend minimal time doing stuff down, having to fork out money down in New Zealand for different things, and everything's paid for in advance. You get the vouchers, you go, it's done. And you don't need to worry about exchange rates on your credit cards except for any other purchases you do while you're down there. Oh, and of course, you'll be paying for gas as well on the car. I can't forget that one. But anyway, like I said, 2 steps. Step 1, answer those 10 questions. Step 2, call a travel professional. You're done. That's it. That's how easy it is to plan a vacation. So if you need some help with that, then please go to beforedirtnaptravel.com and select the best day and time for a free, no obligation planning session. Okay, that's it. We're out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.